and gentlemen, I'm Victor Brooks, and thank you again, and welcome back to the Victor Brooks Show Facebook Live. Come on, it's Sunday, 1 o'clock p.m. on the left coast, Pacific time, 4 o'clock p.m. back east. And we say it every time because we want you to know how much this means to us. And when I say us, I'm talking about myself and my co-producers, Christopher Brooks, Julie McKnight, and the incredible Wendy Vaughn. Every week, I'll put it this way. When our show is over on Sunday, right? That evening, we get back into kick-up mode. You dig? Because the anticipation of getting back here next week is really a fuel for us as the people who put this together to bring it to you every week. And from your emails and your calls and, just the shout outs that you give, it fills us to know that it means as much to you too as well, our positivity posse. You know what we call ourselves, right on. That we are we're here especially during this time, to just say, you know what, we all are doing what we can do in these 24 hours. You dig? We all have our ups, we all have our downs. Nobody's trying to preach at you. I'm a PK, so I definitely know that I'm not a preacher, not a motivational speaker, none of that. I'm just one of many of us who are doing what we can do in these 24 hours and just count a blessing here and there. You dig? To just find something to be positive and smile about. And we're coming up over a year now of bringing this to you and coming together on Sundays. Y'all remember when we used to go 2 shows Saturday, 2 shows Sunday when we first kicked it off, because that was in the thick of it. I mean, it was real thick back last year about this time for all of us. And we've been blessed to be able to have some extraordinary stories and journeys to come on here and talk to us, like Bill Duke. Remember his story, incredible. Frida Payne, Melba Moore, Larry Dotson of Barcase, David Arnold, comedian and writer, and Eddie Levert, and the list goes on. Why? Because these are people who took their time to come on here and rap to us and help to share a smile, to give what we need for each other. And just before I get off this, y'all, I don't know where this came from. It just came right now. You dig? I just want to remind all of us, y'all, let's count these blessings. You dig? Let's count these blessings, man. Let's count these blessings seen and unseen. You dig? Because they out there. And let's start counting as soon as we wake up until we lay it back down at night. And when I started doing that on the real, it was tripping me out how much my basket was getting full of things that I was just like taking for granted. You dig? We all human, we can do that. And, from the time where I just put my foot down, first thing I woke up, that was the main thing, right? And then I put my foot down on the floor and I started walking to what I needed to do. Boy, just start counting them day to day to day. And you know what I always say, let's be thankful for what we do have. You dig? That, someone else's, our not enough is somebody else's everything, y'all. It really is. So when we look at it at that perspective, we have a lot to smile about. And that's why coming to you or with you every Sunday, it just means so much to all of us, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And, I want to bring Wendy out. And today's show, come on, y'all. We have an incredible musical time. When Wendy comes on, we're going to introduce to you, because our positivity posse is growing internationally. And once we started blasting the YouTube channel and the XOTV channel, and of course, Facebook, where was our home that we started at, the word started spreading. And over the years, y'all, your positivity posse family has family all over the world. And today you'll meet one of our family members from Bern, Switzerland. You dig? And we heard her name through our brother, Javier Vargas, out of Madrid, Spain. And we were introduced to her incredible talent. But when Wendy comes on, we're going to definitely give you that face-to-face with her. Wendy?
Yes, we are. Hello, Positivity Posse, our lovely, lovely watchers. Oh my goodness. We had such a fun time backstage a few minutes ago, and I'm over here, doing the controls and stuff, but I am really excited. My morning began. This is one of my Positivity Posse, I guess you could say, testimonies for today.
Yeah.
I realized a couple of things. April 4th was like the actual year anniversary of us doing this, which was Easter Sunday with LTD.
That's
And
right.
then I had the pleasure of jumping on a Zoom with our featured shout out for today, the beautiful Jessie Howe. And oh my God, y'all, I don't know if she's gonna feel like blessing us, because I did put her on the spot a little earlier. But Jessie, if we can have you join us, please, so we can share your artistry and your beautiful energy.
I just name.
There we go. Oh, hi there. Thank you, Wendy.
Now, what's going on, girl? Ladies and gentlemen, this is your family member of the Positivity Posse, Jessie Howe, out of Switzerland, that came today to just give us some of that love, give us some of that family time. Jessie, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Victor and Wendy.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Jessie, how is everything going out there? I don't know if people caught that, but you are in Switzerland, so that's a whole 9 hours ahead, correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's about 10 o'clock now here.
Right, exactly.
So I'm a night owl. Comes with the job.
Comes with the job, right? Now, ladies,
not waking me early in the morning.
I know.
I know I'd be too grumpy then.
Oh no, Positivity Posse, let me tell y'all something. You remember the episode that we had with our brother Javier Vargas out of Madrid, Spain. My brother for over 20-something years. And as you know, Javier is one of the premier rock guitarists, blues guitarists in music history, but definitely out of Europe. And he introduced us to the incredible artistry of Jessie Howe. They are doing, you remember that episode. Jessie, how did you and Javier meet? How did that happen?
Was like the same like we did today, Facebook. Like that happened, yeah. But I would say it was a calling from the universe, because I had already asked the universe to help me give music back to the world, and I knew I couldn't do it alone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they sent me Javier, which was a huge blessing, and you kind of think, is this really happening? But yeah, it felt real, so. It was really lucky, but it's been a long journey and challenging, but definitely for me, the songs just came out like birthday cakes every day, what you say, cookies for a kids' party, and we had so much inspiration, with lots of the lyrics and the messages. I wanted to give the messages. I wanted to channel my given voice from the universe and from the heavens, in accordance with the angels here on earth and over there, to give back to the people sick now, to assist them. Yeah,
and what so beautiful.
I've guided and protected. And today I saw a little bit of. I watched your show, Wendy, and it was like the self-love that also came to me in a song. And it's beautiful that just, gave me chills today. Like, it was wonderful.
Well, in the pre-show, when you started just ripping, and I was like, girl, y'all, she has this beautiful, soulful, rocky voice. And I know that your inspirations, as we spoke earlier, Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, and I know so many more. What would you say would be your favorite song on the project that you're working on with Javier?
Well, as a moody Pisces, every day I change my what are you? with Gemini, so I changed my. At the moment, it's open up, explodes. I love them a lot. So they're all a part of it's like beautiful nature, music or something. And I can't. It's like all babies. I can't say this one's better than
Absolutely, that's true.
But I would say that explode, because also the message, everything is in one, packed into one. The playing, I mean, Javier plays outstanding, so heartfelt, so soulful on that song. And that day something weird happened. A rubber burst, on a lorry in front of us. So we just knew we had to, out in Mallorca, and we just knew we had to record Explode, and it was really late in the evening, and we just did it. It just came through us, and that
gave me chills. Darn, I love that.
It's like, Jesse, it came through you all, and it definitely came. It came through you all, and it definitely came to us, girl. The rest of the world.
Yeah, see?
The reviews that you all have been getting have been out of sight. And we want to congratulate you, girl, on everything that you guys are doing. The music that you're bringing to us, we know that you're giving that from your heart. We can see it when you perform. We can see it when you play. And I know Javier, so I know when he gets in and does his thing. And then when you brought your vocals or bring your vocals to it, it seems like you just said, it was supposed to happen. Yeah. It was supposed to happen, And we want to thank you. Where can we find and download, Jesse? And let us know where Positivity Posse can follow and continue to support.
You can find us on all platforms. It's called Why Kings of Blues, and the album's called Soul Food.
Yes.
And you can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Music. We also have a homepage, whykingsofblues.com. So we also have a Facebook page, Why Kings of Blues. So
right on, girl.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jesse. It would be great to have you back on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Angie. Thank you very much, Victor. Yes.
And you know what, Jesse, would you please come back for your own full episode? And on that episode, we would love to just get more into your journey. What took you to soul music, blues music, rock, that feel of what it is that you give? Would you look at coming back and doing a full episode with us sometime?
Are you brave enough?
Hey.
You know what you let yourselves into? No.
Hey, like my grandmother used to say, we ain't scared. We ready to rock and roll. We ready to do this, girl. We love you, Jesse. Thank you for coming.
I would love to come. I appreciate it very much. It's an honor. Thanks very much, Victor. Enjoy yourselves, yeah? I'll be listening.
Oh, yeah, and stick around and hear this story of T.O.
I will.
This is going to be fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, you were just introduced to one of your Positivity Posse family members out there in Switzerland. And this lady gives it what she's got, which is that soul, that blues, that rock, and that feeling of her artistry that comes through in all of her performances there. And, we're going to get into a conversation today. And let me tell you something. Another thing that I consider a blessing is that most of the people, if not all of the people we've been able to welcome and present to you, there's no way we can contain their careers, their journeys in this time frame. And this is the same thing. There's no way to condense T.L. Cross's musical, artistic journey in this time frame that we have. But what we can do is introduce you to T.L. We can have those words from T.L. of what it is that drives his artistry, his passion for music, and the history of music. I was introduced to T.L.'s television show, Instagram show, with Wow T.L. Cross. And it was just like Wendy mentioned, it was just around that time we were just starting our thing, where, you know, our passion is to bring the stories of our legends, our people whose shoulders as artists we stand on, and then present it in a positive message to the world. And, you know, when I was scrolling through Instagram, I saw this Wow TL Cross, and the stories that this brother was given, I was instantly hooked, because it was the same passion that I understand and I instantly respected. And then once I got into his details of what he was giving us, just incredible. So I'm going to start here, y'all. Let's start with Wow, WOW, TL Cross, a show about music, history, and culture. Wow TL Cross is a show that covers all genres of music through the art of storytelling. In this series, TL Cross, a platinum producer, songwriter, and musician, delves into the connectivity between artists, their songs, events, and even the neighborhoods where they grow up. This show, through storytelling, explores the history behind the music game changers, the dots that connect them all, and the music that has become the soundtrack to our lives. Wow TL Cross also has a segment where Cross interviews many of the game changers that he mentions in his stories. Guests such have been Chuck D of Public Enemy, Daryl DMC McDaniels of Run DMC, Jimmy Jam, will.i.am, Cheryl Salt James, and Kenny the Jet Smith of NBA Inside Edition, just to briefly name a few. Wendy, would you please join me as we both welcome the fantastic and out of sight TL Cross to the show?
Absolutely. Woo! I could hear. I could definitely hear.
All right. And we got him lining up. Theron Powell out of Memphis. What's up, man? There he is, ladies and gentlemen. TL Cross.
Hey, TL.
How y'all doing? It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, the pleasure and honor is ours, brother. You heard me saying how I was introduced to your format, man, while I was scrolling through Instagram when we were putting together our thing, man. And brother, what caught me from the get-go, number one, you a brim cat like I am. You like?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, check this out. There it is.
Listen, we getting our Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis on right now.
Come on, man. You know we got to keep it moving. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But what caught me, T, is that once I got into when you were I forgot which episode it was, but brother, you were breaking down the history of a lot of things that, okay, we know the music, we know those artists, we love the music, but you were bringing in points, man, that we were like, literally, wow, TL, this is how this connects. What made you want to get into that, period? What drew you to that?
You know, I think part of it is my dad, you know, my father being a musician. And my father, I remember we would be riding in the car, and if there was a song that would come on the radio, you know, he would sometimes just say, just out of fun, he would say, "Who's this right here singing?" And then we would try to guess, and we would, you know, and then other times, I remember, I'll give you an example, because this Wild TL Cross thing is like what my dad does in everyday life, just like on steroids, you know. And I remember I used to love, I discovered for myself the Jackson 5, right? In the Jackson 5, this is like, they had been out, you know, in previous decades, but at the time, I discovered them for myself. And I remember I was listening to a song, "Who's Loving You?" And in the beginning of the song, Earl Van Dyke, he's playing the electric piano, you know, he's playing the Rhodes. And my father came in the room and he said, "You know, I don't know who the guy is playing, but the guy who's playing that style was introduced by Ray Charles." You know, and I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "That's the way Ray played, and that's the way he introduced, you know, playing." And I remember going back and I read up about Earl Van Dyke, and like his idol was Ray Charles. And I was like, yo, he was right. And those little tidbits of information always stayed with me. And the next thing you know, I turned around and started doing the same thing to other people.
Right on, man. Wendy, you kind of grew up with that as well, girl. I mean, mom was one of the Emotions, Wanda Vaughn, daddy Wayne Vaughn of Earth, Wind & Fire, the whole nine. What does that ring to you when you hear that, Wendy? I see you clicking over there.
Yeah, I was. I mean, when you said that, I was like, even I did it right before we got on the show. I'm listening to your music, Best Kept Secret, and I love how you're bringing in the harmonies. So I had to ask, like, okay, was there a connection with you and Shape Neo? And so, funnily enough, you all had mutual people that you knew, and they even said that you guys kind of had a likeness, not exactness, So I love that. And I guess I was going with mom and dad. You saw that too, with like the inspiration, and you could hear the influence of something. And if you didn't know, you would think, oh, you bit this person. But I think it's not that. I think it's a circle of energy and the vibe of the time that kind of inspires the musicianship too. I don't know if you would agree with that.
No, definitely. First of all, let's just say a little something about the emotions in Earth, Wind & Fire. I mean, I am. Before I get to me, let me just say, I am humbly just a huge fan. Quick story: when I grew up on their music, and I remember when I first started living by myself, I was, maybe I was 19 or something like that. And I remember my parents had moved down to Orlando, and I was listening to Earth, Wind & Fire, right? Okay. And I was listening to Can't Hide Love. And I grew up on the music. So for me, their music was just as much a part of my household as the furniture, you know what I'm saying? So it's, it's just there. Yeah, So just one day, so a lot of times with that, you have to rediscover it. It's almost like going to church. Like you're in church, your whole life. And then one day you have like your own experience, and your own, that kind of, you know what I mean? Right. So I'm listening to Earth, Wind & Fire, You Can't Hide Love. I get on the phone. I'm like, Dad, like Earth, Wind & Fire. He's like, yeah. I was like, yo, they're incredible. And he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. I was like, yo, like this is crazy. Like I'm just like, because it was just there. Like, I took for granted how great it was until I had to rediscover it myself. That's one thing. I'm watching Watch Stacks.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Watching Watch Stacks. And I'm like, oh yeah, oh yes, there we go. That was the perfect.
This is my inspiration wall, right?
Yes. But you see how the dots connect on their own? That's it, Right. So I'm watching Watch Stacks, and I've always wanted to see Watch Stacks because we grew up with the record in my father's collection, but I had never seen the movie, so the footage, remember they did like a re-release of it. Right. They did like a re-release of it. And that's when I was first able to actually see it. And I was watching it, and I was like, man, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. Then they go into this church. Peace be still.
Yes, bro.
Peace be still. And I was like, that's the emotions. And I was like, wow. And I was so moved by it. And then I started connecting the dots. I started connecting to Earth, Wind & Fire. And then I started thinking about, listen, ain't no half stepping, Big Daddy Kane.
There you go.
Yeah.
Blind Alley.
Blind Alley. Emotion. And I even went and started listening to their Stack stuff, which is amazing.
Right on. Right.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's just get that out the way. Let's just.
But you know what, T? That's what your whole thing is built on, brother. You have a way of being, because we haven't even touched your musical career yet, which is, like I said, there's no way in this time we can do that all, but we definitely want to get into that. But you found a way to connect those dots. Like you just broke it down to us right now. And that's what you'll find on Wild TL Cross Instagram, right? I mean, that's what I'm finding.
I love what I'm finding on there. And, at first I thought you were, a rapper, being so heavily into the hip hop. I'm just like, how did you ever have an issue with people, you being a singer and a musician, taking you seriously in when you started doing your hip hop historian work?
Okay, that's a great question. Honestly, I thought that was going to happen, and it didn't.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I thought, because see, here's the thing. So doing that type of thing, two things helped. The two things that helped was having rappers on the show as guests to validate, verify a lot of what I'm saying, and elaborate on what it is that I'm saying, and tell the rest of the story. Because my thing is more like Cliff Notes, you know, and they can just really expand on it. And so when people see that, you know, sometimes you see a person standing next to another person. They're like, it's like when a person's running for office, and then they have like, it's like the guy, they go to like the black community, and they have like, yeah, you know, I'm with you guys. I love you. You know, right. So right. But so it's like the cosign. Right. But that helps, you know. But a big part of it also is because it is, as a producer. I mean, I've worked with 50 Cent. I worked with The Game. I've worked with Jadakiss. I've worked with LL. You know, I've worked with a couple of other rappers that DMX, may he rest in peace.
Yes.
You know, the great DMX, may he rest in peace. We did a song called Goodbye for him on the Year of the Dog, and he talked about his own demise and the questions that he was asking himself about death and when that day would come. And
that's heavy. That's heavy. Break that down for us, T. Give us the name of that cut again, and the vibe around that cut.
The song is called Goodbye. The song is called Goodbye. And it's funny because on the hook he says, you know, we'll all leave someday, so I'm gonna say goodbye today. You know, and then he just starts going through all of those, just kind of contemplating his own demise, you know, and what life means. The questions behind everything. And at the time it was so weird. It was just so eerie to hear, you know. And but now when I hear it, it's just so amazingly powerful and just poignant. And it almost left something for us to kind of get into his mind on. And that wasn't the only time he did that type of thing. But in this one, it was concentrated into one piece. And it's called Goodbye. Produced by myself in the crew that I was with at the time. Shout out to Bezo and PLX. We called ourselves the Gutta Fam, and we produced quite a few people in hip hop at that time, and even in R&B as well.
All right, T. What keeps you positive, brother?
Positive?
What in your journey keeps you positive, especially now? You
know what? My mother has always been a glass half full person. Right. Always, you know, always. I've never seen my mom just be in this space of just being a funk. Like, you know, just this is gonna be this way, that's gonna be that way. She would be like, you know, I would be that person, like if I was on the track team, which I was, I was pretty good. Okay. But I remember there was a big race that we had and we lost. Okay. And my mom would have a way of making me feel like a winner. There you go. I felt like a winner. But my mother, you know, always had this optimistic kind of thing. I have that. Like, you know, I can always see the good in a person or a thing. And because I know that there is something good, you know, something positive. So my faith, you know, just seeing God in things and in people, you know, and seeing the greatness, you know, in a thing, in people, in the possibilities, you know, the possibilities. If there's only one possibility, that's all I need in the situation. You know what I'm saying? So that's my focus. My focus is on the possibility. Why would I focus on what would stunt me when I can focus on what's going to catapult me?
Come on,
you know, that's what I'm focused on. You know,
out of sight, T. Out of sight, man. Because you know what I was thinking, T. You know, a lot of times, and then please, and this was a message that came in preparation when we started the promos, that actually came from Germany. Okay, and their biggest question, T, and you would be the most fantastic to put your in. I'd love to hear what you have to say. It seems, okay, the birth of hip hop being the US. And I've learned so much watching your show, okay? And please correct me if I'm wrong. but overseas, the power and influence of hip hop, okay, of R&B, of the Black music legacy, all right? But we're going to speak because the question is specifically hip hop now. They wanted to know, why do certain people, and I'm paraphrasing because it was a really long email, but what is the positivity of hip hop? And why do some people miss it? That's the question. Because of the association with hip hop and in some people's mind, negativity, right?
Yeah.
The question out of Germany is, what's the positivity of hip hop and why do some people miss it?
Wow.
Oh, I love that. I love
Great.
that. Man, I love it. So, let me answer this way.
Okay.
If you go to the cultural aspect of hip hop, every genre, no, every art form is rooted in a culture, some culture. If it is a legitimate art form, it is rooted in some culture somewhere, with some people. Before there was a rap, before there was two turntables and a microphone and people doing hip hop, the energy in the culture that created hip hop was already there. It was already in the community. So there were people who were hip hop before hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds deep.
Yeah. So and it's the same thing. You meet a person. There's a person that's never rapped in their life, but they're hip hop though. There's a person that doesn't play an instrument, but they are jazz. That's a jazz cat. A person that is country. Country music. From the way they're dressing, from the way they're talking, the hat they're wearing, the boots they're wearing. This guy, that he's the culture of country, and we know where country culture comes from blues. But ultimately, there's a culture there. So now there was a need for hip hop at the time. There was a need for a thing that was going to give young people an outlet to not stab each other, shoot each other,
Thank you.
fight. So it became, we're going to battle. We're going to battle on this mic. We're going to battle with the turntables. We're going to battle on the dance floor. We're going to battle with the graffiti. There was a movie Harry Belafonte did, produced Beat Street. And in Beat Street, they were showing all these elements. And then there was like a battle going on between the artists, the spray painters,
Right.
So it was the positivity is in the outlet. Now, the positivity also comes in giving a group of people otherwise marginalized in some instances an out, something to do, jobs, because there are more jobs in hip hop than just the person you see that's rapping.
Gotcha.
There's managers, there's A&Rs, there's producers, there's stylists, there are all types of jobs that it creates. So and then you have, like, take for instance somebody that's an OG from my hood, LL Cool J. Speaking of Blind Alley, Pink Cookies. It always comes back to the emotions. So LL introduced, in a way, in his own way. He may not introduce the concept, period, but championed love, hip hop, championed what it means to be a man with bravado and out there. You're in the hood, whatever. But at the same time, when I'm alone in my room and staring in the wall, I hear my conscience call telling me I need a girl. That's So like, listen, I need love. But see, the reality is everybody does. So how can you have an art form or a genre without infusing the concept of love? Because the foundation of the Black community is the Black family. And the foundation of the Black family is love.
Go ahead.
And have an art form or a genre devoid of love, it can't stand. He's important. So the concept of love inside of this is very important. There is love in hip hop, whether it be a love, between a man and a woman, or between, just two people who love one another, or whether it is a love for the art form, the music. But there's love there, And I'll say, with everything we just said, there is a balance of positive and negative. There is positive and negative in everything. We can. I focus on the positive personally, right? I focus on the positive, and then anything problematic, about a thing, I'm aware of it, and I am against anything problematic in any genre or any culture. Anything that's happening culturally that's problematic, I'm not a patriot, right? So like when a person's like a patriot, no matter what the country does, they don't care if you criticize the country. They'll say, well, you should just leave it. But that's what a person's just patriotic. Like they don't care what good or bad happens. But if you really love a thing, then you should critique it, because this way it can grow, it can be better. You know, so I'm not a hip hop patriot in that everything hip hop is positive. No, because there's positivity and negativity in everything. I recognize the negativity, and with that, I think that it should be, talked about. I think it should be reevaluated. Things that no longer serve a good purpose, come back and clean that up. Do something else. But the love, the actual focus of the culture is positive.
It's positive. Why do so many people miss that?
Yeah.
Because people like sensationalism. So if I'm a basketball player, right, and I am a good defender, I play the passing lane well, I can set a mean pick, I can hit my free throws, my layups are always clean, I would not make it onto ESPN because I didn't dunk.
You didn't dunk, that's what I'm about to say.
You know what I'm saying? Or I didn't break some ankles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the fact that you broke that dude's ankles and he fell, that makes it on the ESPN. But if it wasn't for me, who did all the fundamentals, the positive and good things to make the game winnable, I might not even make it onto ESPN. So people like this, the confrontation. When I go to dunk that ball and somebody's there to stop me, and then I just dunk it right in his face, that confrontation, people love that. And so those are the things in hip hop that usually make the front page. It's the most controversial thing. It is the thing that makes people say, wow, did they really say that? The awe, the wow factor in not a so positive way, but just the confrontational thing. People like that, and that's what gets the most attention.
Gotcha. Wendy, I see you clicking over there.
I love this. This is like so organic, y'all. I gotta say, as I'm listening to you, what do you say about there's no bad news when it comes to advertising, because it's still, people are talking about you. And especially today when most up and coming artists don't have the whole team, they don't have the machine working for them. A lot of it is footwork. They got friends and sometimes family helping them do stuff in the in-between time. So you have people who might not always show the positive, but then they'll turn around and flip because of their influence. And I'm thinking right now of Cardi B. And I'm not saying she's not positive or negative, everybody, but she's controversial.
I get it.
She has a message that's in your face. And she used her platform at a period of time to talk some sense about what was going on in politics. And she had millions of people going, hey, So, I mean, it wasn't really a question as much as I'm just writing her coattails that the negative and positive do work together sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. Like, when you get that platform, what will you do with it? Will you, because, she's definitely soundbite worthy, and she's she's apt to go viral,
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So if you go viral, what are you saying during that time? And if it's something that's positive, I definitely stand behind it, and I definitely commend it or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. So I get what you're saying. It's the dichotomy between
You know what? Because I put it this way, man. I'm from that old school of hip hop. That's my school. That's where I'm from. And it's come on, man. When you put on some Molly Mall, when you put on some Fat Boys, when you put on and much respect to Marquis, man. I know that was your brother, you know, and I know that you being one of the younger ones, because when it comes to, you heard me mention Wendy's dad, Wayne, and so many others, I was always the younger cat. I was the little brother and still am, and I hold that trophy as too close to my heart, because these people are mentors. You know, I was a young one, I was a little one, I was learning. You seem to be able to relate to that, because I see a lot of the people who come to the show are the older original OGs of hip hop, man.
Absolutely.
Am I correct in that?
Yes, man. I mean, you know, it's you know, at first, you know, it can be intimidating because there was this rapper out of the I would say the Bronx, but he wasn't from the Bronx, but he was a part of Boogie Down Productions named Just Ice. And Just Ice had a song called Going Way, Way Back. And there was a part of the song where he says, he's listing all these people in the beginning of hip hop. And then he says, and if I didn't say your name, that means you was not there. So me and my friend always say that. Shout out to Drago. Like, we'll talk about, man, when we was doing this, boy, when we was doing that. And it'd be that one person like, yeah, I know what you mean. And we're like, and we'll say to ourselves, like, and if I didn't say your name,
right.
Yeah.
You know? But my thing is, so you always have that thing where you're thinking, I wasn't there, you know, I wasn't old enough, you know, I wasn't born, you know.
I got you.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
Right, it is what it is. But here's the thing, you know, need I have been born to talk about a Mozart, you know, in order to be a Mozart scholar, you know, should I have been born, you know, during the time of Shakespeare, if I'm going to talk about his stuff? So I'm a historian, you know. My thing is, you know, whether a person is here with us, whether a person has passed on a year ago, 10 years ago, 100 years ago. My thing is to highlight, preserve, and put their story out there, you know. And so a lot of the things that I'm doing, I'm approaching it from the perspective of I was not there, and well, I wasn't, you know, but the respect that I end up getting from those guys, it happens like this. Hip hop isn't well preserved. It's not. And when I tell you that, here's what I mean. Okay. Hip hop has a lot of articles written about it.
Yes.
Going back in the day, it's articles. Now the articles isn't always written by a person from inside the culture. So they're writing it based on what they're seeing and what they understand, right? So when you research hip hop, you're researching it and you're getting information from an outsider until you speak to the people. And they can tell you from the inside. They can say, yeah, you know, people always say this, that, and the third, but that's not true, because, you know, it was written by outside, you know, people. And when I say outside people, I don't mean people that's not necessarily hip hop. I mean people that's not in the communities where hip hop is even born. You know what I'm saying? So you might not know Salt and Pepper, but you know Otis Redding Tramp. You know what I'm saying? So there's already the connection right there.
There you go. Gotcha.
Without Otis Redding Tramp, there's no Tramp by Salt and Pepper. You know, without Isley Brothers, It's Your Thing, there's no Shake Your Thing by Salt and Pepper. I'm saying that to say that the community, you know, as long as you're there, you're a part of what hip hop is and what it was born out of. You know, which comes right back to Rump Shaker in Blind Alley with my ladies. Come on now, this can happen all day.
Yes, it can happen all day. That's right.
We can bring it back to the emotions of Earth, Wind, and Fire all day. We can do it. Don't tempt me.
Wow.
But the thing is, so what happens is I'll get on the phone with one of those guys and I'll say, hey man, like I was talking to Dougie Fresh's legendary Dougie Fresh's legendary DJ Chill Will. Right. And I said, yeah, man, you know, I'm gonna have Curtis Blow on this Sunday, you know, because I'm just talking to Harlem people. And Chill Will said, Curtis Blow is from Harlem? And I said, yeah. And he said, I talk to Curtis like once a week. I never knew he was from Harlem. I'm from Harlem. And I was like, yeah. So what happens with these guys is they'll end up learning stuff. And they'll say, man, you know, thank you for that. Thank you. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or if I'm talking about, let's say I'm talking about Big Daddy Kane. And then I connect Kane to Blind Alley and I connect Blind Alley to the emotions. And then I talk about some thread that interweaves, somehow connects them in another way. He wouldn't know that. So he'll say, wow, thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then that's kind of how I became like, kind of like an insider with those guys.
Yeah.
To a small extent.
No, I have to say, I'm listening. I said, you're an anthropologist, with your ethnographic, dig. I mean, and you are from the Queens, right?
I am.
So yeah, you already naturally have the community built inside of you. Clearly, that's why I was just like listening to you talk and everything. I'm like, yeah, you are hip hop. But then but then you can play keys, like what the black keys mean.
Right. Yeah.
Because sometimes when you get around some of the hip hoppers, we've had all kinds, my sister and I, when it comes to working with producers, and they literally were like, I don't want to touch the black keys. And Maya and I were like,
why not?
Dad and I would say, if they don't know what middle C is, we could even bring somebody home that didn't know where middle C was. So I mean,
right. No, listen, you're right. You know what? Can I thank you? Thank you for calling me an anthropologist.
You are.
No, but can I tell you something funny?
Please.
In my mind, I'm an anthropologist because here's the thing that's so funny. I love Zora Neale Hurston, and I have there's a picture on my children's wall of Zora Neale Hurston, right? And I say, Nala, what's your favorite picture up here? And she'll say Zora, because she likes the Zora Neale Hurston picture. But Zora Neale Hurston was an anthropologist. I was inspired by her because she traveled all around, and she went to, like, let's say Haiti, and just was getting the folklore in some of their songs. And then she went to other places in the West Indies. She went down to the South. She went all these places, and she was preserving things. That inspired me because that's how I got into this. I got into it. I spoke to brother Bill Curtis of the Fatback Band.
Yes.
88. I think he may be 89 now. Wow. And we talked, and he's from the neighborhood. He's from Queens. He's from Linden Boulevard. He had this whole Fatback Band thing positioned there and stationed there for years. And I realized that a lot of things need to be preserved that is not preserved coming out of our communities and our cultures. Gotcha. And so I got into it for the purpose of preserving things with love.
Yes.
That needs with love that needs to be right, that needs to be there. Because, as they say, when someone dies, when an elderly person dies, the library burns down. So my thing was like,
there you go.
I'm going to be a librarian, and I am going to help keep those books there protected and intact.
Come on now. Come on, T. See, that's what, you know what, when you heard me, when I was scrolling through that Instagram that day, that's what my dinosaur tale. It was like, boom. I said, wait a minute now, this young brother's throwing what it is. Yeah. This is what it is right here. And then the more I listened and the more I connected, I was like, because outside of hip hop, you also have dots that you connect through soul music.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who wrote this, and whose daughter was this, and whose uncle was actually that was sitting in the studio with this when this particularly happened. Yeah. Those dots that connect, Let me ask you this, brother. What with all of your camp that you have, that you just mentioned here, that the respect is mutual from them to you, you to them. What is your positive hope for Black music from this time on? The preservation or even innovation of what we may not even know yet. You dig? Or sound. What is your hope and positivity for the future for our music?
Well, we have to own it, and when I say own it, I don't just mean the masters. Well, I mean that too, but the culture, like the culture, like own the culture. Like hip hop is a series of cadences in words, in concepts, right? Music, soul music, from whether it be, we talking the real disco, and we talking like the real funk, and the real soul and the real gospel, it's a sound, but it's not simply a sound. It's not simply these set of chords makes you a jazz musician. You know, you know what I'm saying? Of this progression, now you're soulful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just to observe, continue to preserve the cultural aspect of it. Because let me tell you, the people who made all of that possible are not even famous. It's grandmothers, grandfathers, uncles, aunts, people that was cooking the gumbo, people that was doing the raising. I'm talking about, these are the things culturally that lent itself to the front men and women that we see singing.
Oh yeah.
But culturally speaking, there's a preservation that needs to continue that needs to happen, and it continue to stay like that. Yes. You know, that and this is why the stories behind the music is important, because it kind of brings out the cultural aspect of everything. The neighborhoods that are otherwise people scared to walk down the street in South Jamaica or Queensbridge or in Harlem or in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and Brownsville, but coming out of those places also were game changers. People who helped shape the planet when it comes to culture. Come on now, that's so right. We can go everywhere. So my thing is just to continue to be the owners of the actual culture. And I'll put it to you. I'll say this: as far as innovation, you say innovation. Yes. Listen. Yes. All right, now
I knew that'd get you. I said it because our brothers on the same page.
About to say something now. About to say something. You know. Yeah. No. Okay. Muddy Waters, if you will.
Come on now. Mm-hmm.
And I will. Muddy Waters came out of Mississippi, right? My family's from New Orleans, Louisiana, but then further back, a lot of them came out of Mississippi. He came out of Mississippi, went to Chicago. When he got to Chicago, you know, of course, you know, he was playing the blues with the Delta blues with his acoustic, but it's like they can't hear me. Like it's a city here. You know, this is like a metropolis. You know, people can't. I'm sitting here playing on the street and people can't even hear me. You know, just because cars are going by and people are talking, and well, they got to get really close to hear what I'm doing. He said, so of course he ended up getting the electric guitar. You know, and then you listen to Catfish Blues, or what they call the song Rolling Stone. I'm Rolling Stone, which the Rolling Stones got their name from. But this is like some of the first recordings where a person is actually using an electric guitar. Right. This is Muddy Waters. When Muddy Waters made the decision to go electric, everything changed. Gospel changed, because aren't there electric guitars in the Soul Stirrers music? And then, you know, Highway Thieves and the Pilgrim Travelers. You know, isn't there electric guitar in hip hop? Isn't there electric guitar in Earth, Wind, and Fire's music? And in you know, Stax and Emotions. Isn't there electric guitars? Shout out to Steve from the Stax. You know, doing his thing, you know, but it was consequential. That was forward thinking. Muddy Waters. There's no rock and roll. There's none of that without Muddy Waters. All right. Take for instance, Stevie Wonder. Let's just take a moment to just let that name resonate.
So take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Let Stephen download.
Let the name fill the room for a minute, you know. But Stevie Wonder, in his electric synthesizers that he was using way back in the 70s, right? Which some people didn't even get or understand at the time. Stevie Wonder in the 80s was on the Cosby Show sampling. They were in the studio and he was sampling their voices. He had his synclavia there. He was sampling. People didn't even know what sampling was at that time. So he was literally forward thinking, right? Yeah. Marvin Gaye taking that TR-808 drum machine that you was only really hearing in hip hop, and them creating Sexual Healing with a drum machine that was new. People hadn't heard that. We can talk about all the songs that came in the lane of Sexual Healing. We can literally sit here and name the great In Between the Sheets. You know, we can name all of these songs that come in that same kind of vein of Sexual Healing, whether you're using that TR-808 drum machine, but combining it with this soul. You didn't lose the soul by bringing the electricity in there. You know what I'm saying? Right. So who is going to do what Muddy Waters did today? What is is that thing, you know, that you can do to move it forward? What is that thing, you know, that Marvin did, that Stevie did, that these innovative people did? What were those things that can be done today that can move us into the future? And this is how geniuses, you know, that usually are able to figure that stuff out.
Come on, TL Cross. And I'm going to say it, wow, TL Cross. Because
Yes.
Wendy and I were talking and said, you know what? That's the perfect name, wow, TL Cross, because, you know, like you said that the brother told you, I didn't even know he was from Harlem. See, these tidbits are so important and you'll see when people are lining up, when you're able to look back, this is the importance that we need, those details, those tidbits, those dots that you're crossing. Wendy, I saw you about to jump out. What were you thinking when you were listening to that real quick?
No, I mean, I don't know but it goes with the education in the fashion that you're doing it. This isn't start at the top of the left-hand side of the page. Right, the way you're bringing it all dynamic. To me, that's innovation. But so we talked about anthropology, and as you were talking, I had to go look up that story about the giver. That young man who was the historian for his society, and he was downloaded, and he was the person that knew how to get back to love, really, you know? And so I think the TL crosses, that is the innovation, because you're able to bring that history to life in a way that makes people listen. I'm a teacher, and so I know if you can't get them to understand a bunch of random letters together, but you put a little melody to it, you know, ABC, you know, then they get it. So you are doing exactly that. If you ask me with because hip hop, you know, you can hear different folks talk about anything, and it could be important, but if it's gonna put you to sleep, you're just not gonna stay awake. You're not gonna compete with the other noise in the system. So you, to me, are part of that innovation. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it. You know what's funny? I didn't know that I was doing something different until people told me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just was doing something. You know what? You know how they say, you know, if you find something that you love, you won't work a day in your life.
Come on now.
You know,
that's right.
That was what it was. It was just me doing something. I didn't realize that it was different than what people were doing until it was brought to my attention. And then I started looking for what I was doing. And I was like, man, I can't find it. You know, I was like, maybe I'm doing something new. You know? Maybe I might be on to something here.
That's right. That's right. That's right. T, let me tell you something, man. Brother, I mean, like I said, this could go, there's no way to condense the TL crossness of what we need to put into this whole thing. But, you know, first of all, much respect. First of all, much respect on you just wanting to catalog, to preserve, because that's all our, that's why I said when I first saw it, I saw that connection happening. You know, I said, he's got that passion to give these flowers and tell these stories now. Just like Wendy, Chris, Julie, and I on our thing. And I said, this is about respect and support that this brother is doing this. You did? So ladies at Positivity Posse, let me tell y'all something. TL Cross, wow, TL Cross on Instagram. You must follow this. If you love soul music, if you love funk, if you love hip hop, if you love country, if you love music, period, if you have your favorite artist, your favorite songwriter, wow, TL Cross, and TL ain't paying me for this. This is from the heart. This is because it's gotten me, it's gotten Wendy. If this is you all, go to Instagram, go to wow, TL Cross, WOW, click it in, learn these dots. You'll be, I mean, come on, Wendy, you know what I'm saying. You saw it the other day.
I was like, you better go ahead, boom, boom, bap, the way he puts those lines together. I was like, I like that. And I don't forget it. You know, y'all gotta check this young brother out. So is the best place Instagram?
Yes. You can catch me on Instagram. I know we're on, are we on Facebook? I think we're on Facebook. Right?
Yes, we're on Facebook.
So we're on Facebook. So, you know, if you'd like, you can go to my Facebook page and you can click in from there. It's, This is TL Cross. That's my handle on Instagram. This is TL Cross.
Thank you.
But you can find that on my Facebook page. Click into it, and then it'll take you into that. But listen, y'all, checks in the mail. Thank you for saying all that stuff about me.
Oh no, man! Don't check it. Hey, as long as it's a love check, brother, that's the only one.
No doubt, no doubt.
Love.
Hey, we got love for TL Cross
all day. Yes.
And I appreciate what you all are doing, because you all are doing something that is just so important, and you're giving an outlet to so many people. And I just really want to thank you, not only for having me. You had Jesse Howe on, who's really, really, who's great. And just all the other people that I tune in and I check it out and I see that y'all have, and it's like, man, that is what I'm talking about. That's what's up. And I appreciate that. I'm inspired by what you all are doing too. I want to give you all your flowers as well, and I'm telling you, man, and thank you, brother Victor, man. You really helped me out, man. There's a guest that we're gonna have on Wild TL Cross tonight live on Instagram at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And I'm not gonna give it away, but you helped me. You were the person that plugged this in. You actually made this happen for me. And nobody knows who it is yet. Right. But you know.
I got you, brother. Hey, and they know, and they cannot wait to get on there and talk to you.
Oh, man. I'm so looking forward to that. And again, I appreciate you all. I could do this whenever. Just let me know whenever y'all want me to come on. I'll come on and hang out with y'all for a minute.
Man, you know what? My mind is clicking now, because Wendy and I were talking. We're going to start doing tribute shows to some of our past guests and have them on. And I mean, these legends, these waymakers, these people, and we'd love to be able to bring you on for some of them, man, and let them hear and see, and would you do that with us, T? Would you do it?
I certainly will, man. Anything for y'all. I would certainly do that. It would be my pleasure. It would absolutely be my pleasure.
Yay! That's all I wanted to hear, because me, I'm always gonna try to get you to sing, but that's a whole nother thing.
There you go.
I heard you say that you teach. You're a teacher?
Yes, I teach, and I also sing with my mom and all that good stuff. But yeah, I teach, so I love what you're bringing. I'm turning a lot of our students on to you, without a doubt.
You know what? Can I just say, my mother's a retired teacher. Shout out to my mom, and
shout out.
Yeah, that education. And I actually in 2017, I opened Cross Academy of Performing Arts, which is a program that I have, and I have a number of instructors. Yes, and I put some of the information on my page. It is Cross Academy PA, as in Performing Arts, crossacademypa.com. Okay. And right now we're virtual, of course, like everybody else, but we have vocal music. We teach vocal music. We teach instrumental music. We teach music production, drama. We teach dance, various styles of dance, whether it be African, hip hop, modern, and we teach visual art. And I don't think I'm leaving anything out. Fashion, we teach fashion.
Yes.
So yes, so this is a thing. It's a thing,
Right on, man. See, that's that giving back we're talking about, man. Out of sight, T. Out of sight.
I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something. This has been a fantastic moment here with our brother TL Cross. Wendy and I have been looking forward to this, and the preservation that this brother is giving to Black music history, the legacy, the foundation of it all is priceless, because it's here to stay. What TL Cross is giving us on his format, on his delivery, on his anthropology, as Wendy put it, will last forever. Others will be able to learn from this. And we thank you so much once again, T. Much peace and blessings, much respect for what you're doing, man. And we're going to tune in tonight. Give us that time again and where we can tune in.
Absolutely. Again, thank you for those kind words. Yeah. Hope I live up to it when everybody goes to the page.
Yes.
Right on.
And, it's on Instagram. This is TL Cross. That's the handle. This is TL Cross. It's 8 Eastern,
8
5
Eastern.
5 Pacific.
5 Pacific.
Okay. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. You want to go to @this is TL Cross.
Awesome.
And you'll feel the fire. Thank you, T. We're going to see you next time, brother. And we're going to tune in tonight as well. We'll be there. We'll be there. Wendy, was that fantastic or what, sister?
I got chills. I'm just like, it was a great conversation. I learned so much. I'm sitting here like, yeah.
And our people are lining up. We have, thank you so much, Helena, our original Positivity Posse members squad, Helena and Patty Titus. Helena said, pass on that knowledge. Yes. Jeffrey Walker, my brother, what's happening down there in Miami? Enlightening guest. Moshi Lewis, thanks for the positive messages.
Moshi! Oh!
And Brasil, muito obrigado, Brasil. Muito obrigado por seu tempo hoje. Meu coração muito cheio. I said, our heart is full. Thank you for your time today. And Wendy, would you please let me read? Before you go, I've got to read these because we have some very proud shout outs right now from some of our past guests. The Queen herself, Frida Payne. Okay, remember when she did her episode and she was telling about her upcoming duet project? Here we go. Frida Payne's singles, y'all, are out right now. They were released April 16th. Check this out. They Can't Take That Away From Me, the song, the duet, Johnny Mathis. Johnny Mathis and Frida Payne, single, God. Frida Payne's from her new CD. Also, Let There Be Love with the duet with Kenny Lattimore. You gotta pick that, Wendy.
Oh my gosh.
Go to her page, y'all. And you can go to www.fridapayne.com for downloading and going directly for what you need, Positivity Posse, for this incredible jazz presentation from Queen Frida Payne. And also follow her at I Am Frida Payne. Also, your auntie, my sister, Julie McKnight with 9th Street Protocol. Her Julie is finally, she said, I'm so glad I can get out now and just do some type of live show. So Raleigh, North Carolina and surrounding areas, one night event, Julie McKnight and 9th Street Protocol will be at the Poorhouse, May 7th, 7:30 show and 9:30 show. Tickets are going fast, y'all. I think they're already up at like 60-70%, and the show's not until May 7th. Go to www.thepourhouse, THEPOUR house.com to get your tickets. Also, your cousin, my nephew, Brian McKnight Jr., Marry Your Daughter is now 10 million plus on Spotify. If you haven't heard it, y'all, please go check this out. It's killing. It's standing the test of time. And our other past guest, our brother, our cousin, our friend, David Arnold, the comedian, writer extraordinaire, y'all. He has developed, not only has he developed and created this show, he's also the producer and the showrunner. He's the shot caller. This is his baby. The show is called That Girl Lele, has now on Nickelodeon, Wendy, and it premieres July 24th. Right on, David Arnold. Do your thing, brother. We are so proud.
Congrats! This is so wonderful. Oh my gosh. All of our guests are phenomenal. So when I get to hear the updates, that is just like really soul food. It just makes me so happy. Yes, man.
You make me happy. You make us happy. We thank you for everything you're doing, girl. Thank you for being in here with me. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it today. I know we went over a little bit, but that just means that's a little gravy love for you today. And we want to thank you for taking your time every Sunday to come Come and get some of this, you know? And you know what I always say, come back next Sunday. Come get some of this positivity on you. Take a bath in it. Take a shower in it. Scuba dive in it. Hey, if you want to skinny dip in it, do whatever you need to do, but jump in that pool of positivity. And when you come out, sprinkle it on as many people as you can, because that's what it's all about. We love your Positivity Posse, and we got it for you next week too. We'll see you next time on the Victor Brooks Show.